Welcome back to Tracie's Place. We are here. I am here, and thank you for joining us. But I am here with author Don Cooper, pen name D.L. Cooper, the author of No Vision in Sight, and it is the first book in the Speak Life series. And may I say, it is an Amazon bestseller. So welcome, Don. Welcome. And I'm so glad that you are here, and I'm glad that the viewers are going to get a chance to meet you and then just kind of get a preface of the book and all that it entails for the reader to receive. So we will go from there. Is there anything you want to say before?
Hello, Tracie's Place viewers, family.
Yes. So we are so happy to have her. And this is the book. And it is a wonderful read. You can get it online. You can read it on your Kindle. Purchase it on Amazon for your Kindle or get the paperback. So I did both because I love a good paperback. I love to actually feel and, turn the page and stuff. So I did both. But anyway, let me just give you all just a little bit of the book before we get started. And this is on the back cover. It says, Donovan Cole was always driven, focused, and attained her goals. Her vision was revealed at age 5, and everything she did thereafter brought that vision to life. The only thing that got in her way was life's struggles, and coming from the school of hard knocks and her relationship with God, they posed no feat to her. But what do you do when that vision is fulfilled and God refuses to speak? Never in life had Donovan dealt with having a future with no target in sight. Devising a plan, she found herself drowning in the same sea that always saved her. Surely God had more for her. Like Donovan, many people are questioning their very existence and reason for living. As a result, they often feel they add no tangible value to the world around them. Walk along with Donovan as she navigates through life by seeking answers to the unknown and vision for this season of her life. Will she find her purpose, or will this final blow keep her bound to the vision of her past? And there is a scripture that is based with, and that is, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And that's from Habakkuk 2 and 3. That's from Habakkuk 2 and 3. So that alone, just when she first presented the book, and just, y'all, I was so excited to start reading the book. So excited to start reading the book. So I want to ask Don, I'll keep it here. I just want to ask Don a couple of questions just about her before we start, and then we're going to get into the book. Okay, so this is a new vision for you as well. Did you ever see authorship in your future? And if not, how much of a surprise was it to you?
I think about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, a friend said, and I live in Indianapolis, and a friend here from Cincinnati said, do you want to go to a book workshop with me? An author's workshop? No. I'm not writing a book. And she said, me neither. But I just feel led to go.
Wow.
And I said, okay, I'll go. And that was about 4 or 5 years ago. I got all the material. I found out about how to self-publish, editing, everything. And I still have the packet. For some reason, I kept the packet.
Okay.
And I have that information. Didn't do anything with it. And when people started saying, you should write a book about your experiences and raising your kids and everything that kept coming to mind, but God did this, but God did this, but God, and I just didn't feel it would be a good read.
Okay.
The end would be, God did this.
Right.
And so when God really urged me to pick up the book and start reading, I knew that even then I did see a book, but I knew I I needed to live more.
Okay.
Before I wrote it.
Okay.
There were some things I needed to see before writing it.
Okay.
And so, and in my wildest dreams, I never thought it would be a novel like this.
Right.
So all of that. When I say Jesus was my co-author, truly, he spoke. The Holy Spirit spoke through me with these words and principles, and I am amazed. So when I read it, I'm laughing again, and it's like you wrote the book, but I love it, and so it is very much God inspired.
Okay.
So when you read it, individuals find nuggets that touch them.
Okay.
Kind of like when we read the Bible. So when you read the Bible, different revelations stick out. We can both read the same scripture and get different things. I believe the same thing will happen when you read this novel. And it is a novel. It's not a self-help book, but but you will pick out different things that speak to you personally.
Okay. Awesome. And you guys, I must say, when she said this is a novel, because this is, let me see. I think I had another piece in here that I wanted to read. Let's see here. I did, yes. I have it marked right here. That she is an international best-selling author of 31 Ways of Influence and has authored many national articles on foster care and adoption. No Vision in Sight is Dawn's first Christian fiction novel and was inspired by her life experiences. Okay, y'all, so I know Dawn, right? I don't know every single detail and everything that happened in her life, but knowing her, since I know her, I had issues separating Donovan and Dawn. And when I was reading the book, I would be texting her like, is that true? Did this happen to this? She like, no. It is loosely based on my life.
It is.
But it was so well written, and I read it along with my two sisters. And they remarked about how well written it was, how good it was, and they would ask me, "Did this happen to her?" And did she? And I said, "I don't know." Some things I was like, "Well, I don't know. Let me ask." But it was just that well written. So when you get the book, read it along with other people. Get another copy or whatever. Have a ladies reading group or church reading group or whatever. Read it along with others, and it will just make it come to life even the more. And you can talk to each other. You will find yourself conversing about the book while you're reading it, and then do a kind of summary together. I know you have to maybe do Zoom nowadays or whatever, but that would be great to do.
And I am available. So if you go to my website, I would love to join you for the last session to help to hear the nuggets that you receive. Because people told me nuggets that I didn't even think were in there. So they had great takeaways. So I would love that. And I'll answer any questions on what you have is fictitious and real.
Right. Okay, since receiving the vision when you were 5 years old, how did the first vision, the first part of your life, kind of, bring about or help to bring about the second vision in your life?
Okay, so when I was 5, I was watching an infomercial about starving children. And so I begged my mother, let's just get one, if we could help just one. Well, we were very poor. My mother was single, so that wasn't going to happen. And I promised, something in me said, I'm going to help children that need help. I'm going to be there. And that was when God planted that vision. And so throughout my life, my first vision was a praise dance ministry of youth, of teenagers. And boy, did they teach me a lot about raising kids, about what kids do behind their parents' back and how they do different things or some conversations that vision they would have.
Helped you with
that vision. And I started that. And this is in the book a little bit, but I was an NFL cheerleader, and God called me away from that. And when He called me away, He said, "You will dance for me now." And so that is what birthed the youth praise dance ministry. And that was back when we really didn't do a lot of praise dancing.
Right,
So
right.
it was really unique to the body of Christ. It was on the cusp of something new and a birthing. And so I did that. We walked in that for 10 years.
Okay.
And after that, right after that, I started adopting the children. Okay. But I realized that prepared me for a lot. Just hearing their conversations and seeing how they reacted to no when their parents told them, or how that I didn't realize it, but that helped me raise my children. Okay. Bringing out conversations that we would have and different things of that nature. So I think that every vision along the way, from the praise dance ministry to the adoption to now what I'm doing now has really had everything to do with everything. Okay. So so now my vision and currently it is not the vision that is in the book. Okay. But my current vision now is to bring godly principles into public schools.
Don't we need that?
So yes, we need that. And so that's what I'm working on now, trying to get into the public schools, not providing scriptures, but these are biblical principles that we are to live by. Okay. So even though, and I struggle with that because I don't like to water down the Bible in any way, but we have to do that. We have to be more wise,
and meet people where they are,
right. And so to get those principles in public schools, and God said, if you get them there, I'll anoint.
Wow.
I will anoint if you can get in there. Okay. So if your son or daughter's school needs them, please let me know. But that is my vision now. Okay. And it's still dealing with the children that are lost. Okay. Defunct of the spirit. Okay. In public schools and defunct of confidence and esteem and knowing. And I believe that schools focus 99% of their time on academia, but not self encouragement, self-esteem. Anyone will tell you in the psychology world that 80 to 90% of success is based on the mindset. True. So if we deal with the mind, then we can then deal with getting the issue solved. Okay. So if a child believes that he can do it, then he'll put forth a different effort. Yes. And he'll accomplish a different goal. Okay. And so that's what my ministry is now. Fluent Life, that's what that is. So that's what birth. It's not the vision that Donovan received, but that's my vision that God has given me to go into public schools.
Okay. And may I say, and I didn't even script this in, but as she was talking about the children and children in school and her adopting children, her working with children from way back and with the dance and everything. Dawn is also Jalen's godmother. And just writing a book. And she has written another book. We'll get to that a little later. But I said, she could write a book on being a godmother. And I said this before these books. I thought this in my mind. She could write a book on being a godmother because, and just to show you how far it went back, it was when she was, just even interested when I was pregnant and everything, interested in everything. But then when I went into labor, she called and she said, "You're in labor, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yes."
Because that's my baby.
Yes. We were blown away. Me and Chris looked at it. We were like, "That's the godmama."
I didn't have any kids, so she was our first.
Yes, she was our first. And her and her mom were the first visitors to the house after we brought Jalen home. I mean, we were there no sooner than that. I think maybe, did y'all follow us home? Y'all got there, like right after we got home.
No, we picked you up from the hospital.
Yeah, and it was just amazing. And not just not in name only, but in, she was speaking to her life all growing up. Not just, I know some godmothers give gifts and, you know, different things like that. But she was speaking to her like
I did that too.
Yeah, she did that too. That's what I said. Not just that, but she did that too. I mean, it helped us in so many instances. And just speaking into her life, even, you know, calling her and different things, and just, you know, just speaking into her life, and just even guiding from not, you know, just so many aspects. So, and she still has a relationship with her today, and it's just an awesome thing. Okay, so each character helped Donovan to kind of navigate what God was bringing forth in her life. How did the characters come to life in the book? Because these characters were amazing. You just felt like you knew these characters, and each one was like strategically placed to kind of help catapult and, you know, help her navigate the vision. So how did that the characters, how did they come about?
Well, just in being a new author and learning how people write, a lot of authors sometimes do an outline of their book and then write about it. I'm not that author. I just started writing. And I'm telling you, God spoke. Those characters evolved from me writing. It was not planned. It was not, a lot of this was God spoke and I wrote.
God orchestrated.
He orchestrated all of it. And even down, there's a young lady in the book. And I'm not sure if you got this out of it, and I'll share it with you. It's a tidbit. We'll give it to you free. But but it she is a young lady that's in foster care. And so she never wanted to be adopted. So we'll go through that. But that young lady has aspects of each of my adopted children in her. Okay. So that's what makes her unique, because while my children were being taught the word of God, really walking it, living it, now that they are adults, they struggle with that. Well, I saw God create this person that would maybe show them that if they had really, if they would put God as that foundation, this is maybe how this would have turned out in your life. So she is that, she's a culmination, but she is that foundation that has a little bit of all of it. That maybe if they would just seek that foundation and God a little stronger, they would see things a little different.
Okay. And thinking back, reading the character, I'll say that, I can see, because I know her children, so I can see certain aspects of them. I can see that.
Yes, and she identified with each of my children.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
So the second book 2, is based on her perspective. Right.
And I'm getting there. I'm just like, oh my, there's so many different, it's just bubbling with, you know, the second book is just bubbling because there's so much in this first book. And I just can see so many aspects. I don't know. I didn't read the second book now.
It's not finished.
It's not finished. But I can just, you know, in my mind, you try to imagine, because the book was just so, oh my good. Anyway, let's go on. So people from your real life are included in the book in name or persona. And I even recognized us in there as well. So how did these people come to kind of be included in the book?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm sure your family doesn't know how we met.
Right.
And so Tracie's husband and I grew up like brother and sister. So my mother was, oh my gosh, that was the son she never had, or she didn't have. I do have a brother, but he wasn't into the sports and all of that. And she just loved Christopher, and so we are like brother and sister, and so Donovan has a friend as well. And so a lot of that friendship made me think about my friendship with Chris and other males. I've just always gotten along friend-wise with males. And so it made me think about how to incorporate just a friendship and even to see things from a friendship level. And I think that's where you all kind of came in to the book, is just how I process, like, well, this character is doing this, but that didn't happen with my relationship with my male friends. So that kind of I think I think that brought things to light within that character. Within the character that played the friend to Donovan, and how that brought out some things in her.
Right. And then even later on, and not to give anything away, she ordered something from me. The character ordered something from me in book 2. So that's it. I was like, that's me.
Yes. She was instrumental in bringing a family united togetherness. Yes, you were. And one thing too that I want to add is that the male character was in Donovan's life in a very vulnerable moment.
Right.
And I'm not even sure that you know this, but Chris was in my life at a very vulnerable time when we were teenagers, and I was like, I am so ugly, and no one likes me. He was just there; he didn't know what to say, girl. I was crying, and we were on the phone. I was like, nobody asked me. He was like, you're not ugly. He struggled with it. He said,
oh my goodness.
You're not ugly. You're it's just that people think that you're already in a relationship. Well, I don't know why. I don't talk about a boyfriend, and no one comes up to me. And it was so hilarious. I think back to that. I don't even know if he remembers it, but I was just crying. He didn't know what to do. He was like, no.
Lord have mercy. Lord.
So this individual was involved with Donovan at a very vulnerable moment.
Okay.
It was fun, and I'm not a crier. So I'm not a crier. I don't cry very easily, but Chris was there. That time I just broke down. No one likes me. Do I wear nice things? He was like, you dress.
Because you all were friends from, was it elementary or junior high?
Junior high.
Yes. And on up till now.
Yes.
On up till now. So.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a blessing to have people in your life just that long.
Yes.
Okay, so there are 2 backdrops or settings that are set for this book.
Yes.
There is the cruise ship. And then there is a beautiful Victorian house called Blue Belle. And Blue Belle sparked some controversy of her own in real life.
Yes.
After the book was published and everything. So we'll get into that. But how were these settings chosen for the book? And then you can tell us a little bit about Blue Belle.
The cruise. That's where Donovan goes to always hear from God. And so after she prayed, she was just sick of it. And she said, you know what? Out here on a cruise. I'll do it. And I'll get my vision on the cruise. And so that's what sparked her going on the cruise. And cruises have always been instrumental in helping me when I have like large bodies of water around me. It is just, God speaks. It's so calming. And God really has spoke to me in the past for major things, like major shifts in how I raised my daughters, and major shifts in my life and how I treat my body now, and did just all kinds of things that I've received life-changing things when I go to cruise, when I go on cruises.
So it's like the water is like a peaceful
oasis. It is. I always say, God, you got to give me a house that overlooks a body of water.
Okay.
Because I sometimes I get scared because I don't want to get familiar with it where it just becomes a body of water. But people tell me that never happens. Okay. People who live around water say that never happens.
Wow.
So I'm excited. Lord, send it.
Right.
You said ask.
Okay, and Blue Belle.
Blue Belle. Yes. So Blue Belle was established because they couldn't stay on the cruise ship forever. Right. So that was a large part of, well, not a large, but a part of the book where they found solace after all of these things had initiated on the trip.
Okay.
A lot of things took place on the cruise ship that didn't have finality. It didn't have something that kind of settled. Yeah, it was still kind of left. Nothing was defined totally on the cruise. So Blue Belle became that space, that oasis for them to kind of debrief and kind of get some things enlightened back together. So I found Blue Belle on Zillow. So I was looking at homes. I said, well, we have to do it in Orlando. And
they got off the cruise ship there.
Right. And I didn't know one of the characters lived there. And I didn't know Orlando. I mean, I've gone to Disney and Universal and stuff like that, but I don't know the neighborhoods of Orlando. So I had to look it up, and I just started looking at houses on Zillow.
Because authors have creative license to use different things that spark their interest, and they may use a certain setting for, you know, different aspects of the book. So basically that's just what Blue Belle was.
Right. Okay. It was a setting. I didn't take, it wasn't exact. I kind of made some things up. Again, this is a fictional book, but for the most part, it just caught my eye. And it was such a beautiful house. It's really beautiful. And so I said, this is the house. And I always know it. I always know it when I see it. Like, this is the house. So, yeah. So that's how I took Blue Belle. It was just, there was a piece there. There was, I loved it. I loved it. And so I started writing the book.
Okay.
Based on how the layout was.
Yes.
And the color.
Okay.
It was a real light blue, pretty blue. So we named her Blue Belle.
So Blue Belle sparked some controversy of its own, like I said. So Don, just being excited about the book, dropped the book off to the real owner of Blue Belle, because Blue Belle is real. So that's her focal point for that setting. So she dropped it off thinking, you know, the owner of the house will be excited, and I'll let Don take it from here.
Well, I had gone to Tampa to work on my second book. And so Tampa isn't real far, maybe a couple hours from Orlando. And I thought, well, while I'm this close, let's just drop a book off. And so I rang the doorbell and no one was there. I wrote a note in the book, you know, saying, hey, I found the house on Zillow. It's so beautiful. And I hope you enjoy living in it as much as I enjoyed writing about it. Here's my card. Please call me. This is my number. I'd love to just tell you, you know, a little bit about what I thought about the house and everything. And so I left it on the doorstep. And about 3 days later, someone left a message that said, do you know this chick? They said, this chick is on TikTok taking a something you meant as very good and turning it into something that's self-promoting. And I thought, what the heck is going on? And so I did follow up with the lady. She had questions. And I said, of course not. No, it's a Christian novel. You know, I left my number. Call me. You know, and someone put the TikTok. Sent me the TikTok. And so I went to it, and oh my gosh, she turned it into this spooky story. And maybe it was because it was near Halloween. I don't know.
Maybe so. Thinking you were like kind of almost stalking.
A stalker, yeah. She said I was a stalker, and people were saying, don't call her. I thought, no, call me.
Just thinking she's going to be excited. You know, if your house or your whatever was used as a focal point in something good, and you're thinking like, you know, here I got this section in here that's written about this, you know, and I would be excited.
Yeah, I would. I'm like, oh, like, oh my gosh, yeah. And And she said that the entire book was about her house. No. I did not write a book about a house.
Right. It was just the setting. And it's like you had to find places, for backdrops or settings in the book.
Right.
And then your creative license just goes. So just like with the people or the names or the whatever, you have basis for some things, but then you fictionalize the rest. So
yes, yes. I prayed about that, and God said, I will take what was meant for evil and turn it to good. And so she really gave me some free publicity. That lady has like 800 comments. And so people are coming to the website. Do you know she has a website?
Lord.
But there are a lot of people that supported me and said, I really understand. I'm not sure what's going on. And they put their little 800 comments, you all.
Wow.
So 800. And so, yes. So you buy the book, and I want to see what you have to say. Get on my website and see. I'm not sure if Tracie's gonna put the TikTok in the
right.
I don't know. That's on her. I don't. I think it would spark your curiosity because.
And like I said, Blue Belle is a beautiful place because she explained it so beautiful. Like I said, it's not exact to what the real thing is. It's fiction. Some of it is fictionalized, but it was so well described. I called her. I looked it up. I looked up Blue Belle. I'm looking up. I knew the area, that it was in and stuff. And I looked at it. I was like, "Is this the house? Is this the house?" Because I wanted to see the beautiful house that was described in the book. So it was just awesome. It is a beautiful place. It's just awesome.
And I do have pictures.
She said, right.
So that I'll show you after you read the book. But this lady had accused me of going in her house or sneaking in or looking through her windows.
Yeah.
But the layout of a house when you're selling it, the interior and exterior is all on Zillow when you're trying to sell it.
Yes.
So that's what, and whoever staged it, it was beautiful. Yeah, they staged it real nicely. Wow. So that's kind of what I took from it.
Awesome. Okay, so why do you believe God had you write a book about vision at this time in the world? There's a lot of things going on now in our nation and just the world abroad. Why do you think God had you write about vision at this time?
Oh my gosh, she's gonna make me cry now. I have known several people who have committed suicide. My godson attempted suicide. And so I just knew that if people really knew the value that they hold in this world, they wouldn't even consider doing anything like that. And so I know that a lot of the depression that goes on, so many people. I used to work for a corporation, and just in talking to the 9 people that were in my group, 7 of them were on medication for some type of anxiety, hormonal imbalance, and the other one was like young, in her 20s. So she was, but I just thought, wow, if people would just grab hold of who they are in Christ, if they would just learn and know just what they hold and how they impact the world around them, I believe that they wouldn't get into those situations. I believe that and please forgive me if I know this is not everything. I know some people do have chemical imbalances. I understand that. I just believe that a large bulk of people, because it's on the rise, depression, anxiety, especially high blood pressure going on now. Everything is on the rise. And so with the COVID, people are dying and having to deal with loved ones that have passed on. And the guilt of not being able to be there with them. And so the vision, if you had a vision, if you had if you knew the the reason why you were created.
Yes.
And that God, it created you with intent.
Right.
To bless those around you, to influence those around you.
Right.
I believe that a lot of this wouldn't be going on.
Exactly. Because we were just talking about it the other day, and you were specifically saying how we're all created with the same purpose. We all have the same purpose.
We are.
And the purpose is to spread the gospel, right?
Yes.
So, but we all have a different vision or different ways to get that across that God gives us specifically to affect our own little corner of the world.
Yes.
So that's really key in people, reading this book and getting a hold to the vision of their life.
Yes.
To not drown. It's not a time to drown,
Yes.
but it's time to get that vision, to let God spark it up in you.
And there are also questions that are in the back of the book that help individuals and guide them to helping them find the vision. Only God can give you your vision.
That's right.
It doesn't come from prophets. They can affirm it, confirm it, but they do not give you what your vision is. You have to seek God in that manner.
Yes.
But these are questions that will help you. Just as Donovan had questions she had to go through and answer that helped her in the path to find her vision.
Okay, so this book delved into new friendships, a new love relationship, a new responsibility, old wounds, and present challenges. How did all these things add up to help awaken or give knowledge of the new vision coming?
I think that those are things that a lot of us have to go through in our path to find the vision. I believe that God has to do some things, shake some things. You have to meet different people who link to your vision.
Right.
And so that may be why you haven't gotten your vision yet, is that he's setting the stage for all of that to take place. I personally didn't receive my vision that I asked for like 2.5 years. I was praying and it just, God didn't speak. Now, I want to say that I still operated in my purpose, which is to teach those, to share the gospel. So I was still involved in ministry. I just didn't have that niche. And so as I prayed, it was just silent. And I went to a vision class. I was like, maybe that sparked something. And it didn't. And I was just at a place where I had to meet the right people at the right time. And so I believe different relationships are culminated. I believe that God has to empty us of some things before he can present new things, because we don't want to carry old things over to the new vision. That's right. And so you have to, there's some things that need emptying out of you. Again, there's people you need to meet. There's position and timing is everything.
I was gonna say people you may need to get rid of.
Right. And so there's a lot of things that people may have told you that are very negative. You talk too much. You need to be quiet. You are so nosy. All of these things that were seemingly harsh, but I am telling you, God put those in you for a reason. Right. And you may be using them poorly. That's right. But God will turn them. They are not bad. You being inquisitive is not a bad thing. Be inquisitive in the Word of God. Don't let people tell you anything wrong. So there are different things that work, like you're too controlling. You control controlling is not a bad thing. It's just bad when it prevents us from walking in the things of God. And so all of those things again we'll learn, but that help us walk and navigate in new vision better. Some things that we may have had where when you didn't learn about control, you may learn now and say, I'll do this a little differently in this season of my life. So,
right. Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good. I like that. Okay, now the romantic aspect of the book. I want to know how God instructs this. I mean, this relationship was so beautifully done. It wasn't too much. It wasn't too little. There was a little tug and pull there, but it was brilliantly written. So how does God instruct? Because I don't like things that's just, you just put everything out there, and things are so intense and romantic. In our relationships as being Christians anyway, we're not supposed to be delving into certain things. But this was so much of a blossoming kind of a relationship, and like I said, it was tug and pull. There was,
there was drama.
There was drama.
So I don't want you to think like this book is boring. No, there was some drama.
Oh my goodness, it is not. And I don't want you even to think that God is all in the book,
but it
don't smack you.
It doesn't beat you over the head.
Right. And so yes. So how did God?
And in fact, someone read the book that is had just started her walk, not real heavy so at all, really. And she read the book and she said, "This makes me renew my faith, or it makes me," and she didn't want to read it. She said, if she had read the back of this in a bookstore, she would have saw God and put it down.
Wow.
She said, I don't want to read a book about God. I don't want to. And when she read it, it wasn't what she thought at all.
It's really not. But I mean, it's like you know how God has His hands on every aspect of something, but it's not just like, in your face. And that's basically how it is. If you're a non-Christian, you're still gonna enjoy this book. You really will. So tell me about how did he orchestrate the romantic part of the book?
I love romance. I love Hallmark. I am like the Hallmark movie.
It reminded me of my favorite movie. My favorite movie is a Hallmark movie. It's The Magic of Ordinary Days. I don't know if you've seen that one or not. Yeah. It's about an arranged marriage.
Okay.
So she goes to live with him right away and everything, but they don't do anything right away. And they're kind of navigating how to even form this relationship. They get married first off, and then it navigates the relationship after they're married. And it's the most romantic thing, and nothing even happens during the first, I'm like, what is my favorite book? Favorite movie?
That is wonderful.
Yes.
I think for me, you just always have to have that measure of relationship in a novel. I look to see it. Right. I'm single and I love being single, but I look to see for the romance in it. And I just think that Dominic evolved. He's somewhat evolved in character. But I'm telling you, writing romance is, I thought, would be very difficult for me. I have been in relationships. I have been married. I'm divorced, but just it just evolved. It just evolved, and different ups and downs that relationships take, and while we getting to know, and even in that, in writing it, oh my gosh, I wrote a lot of that. I was crying. So there were tears when God was doing things in me, and God was almost the Nick in my life. Like that at that time I was writing it. Okay. And so it was very moving. It very emotional.
I was about to say that. That was an emotional blossoming.
And it was. And even how God was bringing different things out in me as I was writing it. Like when you cry in front of somebody, you become vulnerable. That's not That's not me.
Right.
I'm not that.
And they were.
I'll cry behind the scenes, but
and they were uncovering things about each other.
Right.
And, yeah. I love every area of the book. Every area was exciting. It was entertaining. It was funny. It make you cry and all that stuff. But every time Dominic would come into the scene, I was just like.
What'd they say?
Yeah, I mean, it was just that good. I was so looking forward to every time they would have an interaction. I really was. So, love that.
That's the hallmark in us.
Yeah. And God does love relationships. Some Christians are like, God is stuffy, and they don't even sometimes want to get onto the relationship subject or the intertwining of the. God made it.
Yes.
He made it.
Yes.
Relationships and even the marriage relationship, and a lot of times, of course, you have to be in the dating stage to get there. So, and this was just, it was.
And it's not just there are people that are married. His parents are married.
Right.
So it's for everyone. It's not. It is a Christian fiction book, but it, other people loved it as well.
Yeah. Okay, so there was a serious crime that happened, an injustice to one of the characters in the book. And this was a serious part of the book. And it just kind of blindsides the reader. I was blindsided. It kind of blindsides the reader. It doesn't, I won't say catapults the book into a different direction, but it just adds a little twist or element to the book. And I was just wondering, I was thinking, the effects of what happened. I don't know this, but I was thinking maybe it kind of moves on to the next book because there's a sequel. So I was kind of thinking that it kind of moves on. How does this plot twist just kind of plop in the book? How does that happen?
God. Sorry, God. That totally dropped after the book was written.
Okay.
And that I don't know. That was dropped.
Okay.
Seriously.
Yeah, because it was like
as I was by a body of water. And so when it happened, when God revealed that to me, and I had to place it because the book was, so I had to place it. I had to go back and intertwine and lead up to it. I had to, and I just thought how it came together, and it really gave an explanation to a lot of the characters' reasoning for why she did what she did. But I never thought that it was kind of dropped like that. Yeah. So that was the only thing. Everything else was written just. Okay, this happened. Chapter 4, this happened. Chapter 5, but that it was finished.
Wow.
And that uncovered. So yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Like I said,
God knew where that wanted. In fact, I was criticized by one of the beta readers for not going into more detail.
Well, maybe that's
about
it.
it.
The second part.
How about that? And so, but because that wasn't what the book was about.
Right, okay.
So it wasn't about that, but it was to kind of bring some continuity around or understanding on why she was making the decisions all of a sudden when she was one way and then flipped. Right. What did that?
Right.
So so it wasn't about that.
Right.
It was but
it was to help develop the character.
I can't say criticism, but it was feedback.
Yeah.
You should have did more with that.
Okay.
And I said, no, what the book was about.
Yeah, it's not for right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was when I said it was dropped in. It was like you reading. It's like boom. But it added a good element. It really did. It really did. It made you go woo. So thank you for coming to do the interview with me. And I know the viewers enjoyed it too. I know that they will enjoy the book. So I just thank you for coming and doing the interview with me. I feel so honored. Oh. But y'all, Christmas is coming up. The holidays are coming up. people are at home. They'll be taking vacations to be at home, and just with what's going on, people are at home more now. So get the book. Get the book as a Christmas gift or a gift somebody having a birthday, whatever. Get it for them, and then also get it for yourself, of course. Read it along with me if you can. If not, that's okay. But it is an awesome read.
Thank you.
It's an awesome read, and also, let me give y'all where to get the book from. So you can go on, you can get it on Amazon, but I prefer you go to her website, and there's, some things on her website. Go there. You can purchase the book from her website. Her website is www.dlcooperauthor.com. So I will put all that information down in the description box below as well. But yeah, go to her site and purchase the book and learn some more about her. And oh my goodness, this has been a good time.
Yes, it has. I also do want to take the time to say that during COVID, during some things that are happening in the world today, there is also a rise of Alzheimer's and dementia.
Okay.
We are seeing a lot of that.
Okay.
And it's because we are not exercising our minds and our brains anymore. We used to read a lot.
Right.
I used to be an avid reader. But I believe that we've stopped. Facebook has taken place. YouTube, we watch it. Movies, we sit and watch.
Yeah.
But when you sit down and you read a book, you have to paint the image. So when I tell you it was a pink room with cream flowers, and that you have to make that image in your mind.
And it works that part of the brain.
It works that brain. And so I encourage all of the listeners, pick up a book, not just mine, but start reading.
Yes.
I encourage reading books again. And, if not writing, write, like, even when I write, I have to write. Just all of that helps. And not journaling a paragraph. Pick up a book and do imagery. Imagine stuff. Exercise that brain, because dementia is on the rise. Losing that because we're not exercising our brains enough.
That's right.
So I encourage you, not only my book, but pick up books, start reading. Start reading again.
Right.
Get off of Facebook. Get off of watching so many movies and get a good book.
Yeah, get a good book.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's not anything wrong with doing those things. Everything in moderation, though.
Yes.
It's nothing wrong with watching a good movie here and there, or, you keep up with your friends on Facebook. Sometimes we get on Facebook and
Hours pass. Hours pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am guilty. Even though I try not to be on there.
Yes.
But yes, it's like it works your brain when you have to read and process things. It works certain parts of your brain. So yes. Also, y'all, she's author of 31 Ways of Influence. 31 Ways of Influence is the tools of the proverb 31 woman to successfully impact nations. And it is an awesome book. Awesome read also.
It's an anthology. So about, I don't know, maybe about 30 of us got together, maybe 29, 30 of us got together, and we have different devotionals kind of in there. But the 365 influence is coming out too. Okay. So that'll be released hopefully before Christmas, and that's another anthology. That's truly a devotional anthology. So it is.
So y'all get this too. Can this be gotten on Amazon?
Yes, it can.
This can be gotten, and I'll put that information down below.
And that is also on my website. 31 Ways of Influence is also there.
Get them both on her website. And you all, if you want an autographed copy, definitely get it off of her website.
And leave a note.
And leave a note. I would prefer you get it off her website. Just go to her website. I love that. All right. So thank you so much again, Dawn. And I love her anyways, because she's my friend. She's my sister friend and everything. But I'm just so honored that you came to do it on my channel.
Thank you for having me. That is so nice that you're doing this. So nice to meet you all. So I'm usually on the other end watching with you all. So it's good to be here.
Yeah, thank you. I love her. And y'all, get the book. Get the book. Go down in the description box and share this video. Share this video with a friend. If you are new here, subscribe to the channel. Would love to have you to subscribe. And you guys, be safe. Be blessed. I love you. And I'll see you guys next time right back here on Tracie's Place. Bye.